Several areas associated with former building locations at the Fairport Hatchery were surveyed using technology called ground-penetrating radar. Ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, is the transmission of high-frequency electromagnetic radio pulses into the Earth. Radar. GPR measures the elapsed time between the transmission and its reflection off a buried discontinuity back to the surface. Archaeologists call buried discontinuities a target or anomaly. GPR technology is the wave of the future for archaeological investigations for three reasons. One, it is a non-invasive technique that does not require ground surface disturbance to identify subsurface structural remains, features, and artifacts. Two, it can determine subsurface targets at depths with a high degree of accuracy. And three, compared to other remote sensing techniques, it is less susceptible to interference from surface metal or other traditional magnetic sources. GPR antennas often operate at 400 MHz. GPR antennas that operate within the range of 500 to 1000 MHz are susceptible to interference from cell phones and televisions. The GPR survey for the Historic Fairport Biological Station used the following equipment: a carriage, radar panoply, processing unit, and antenna. The 400 MHz antenna was deployed because it accurately penetrates 2 to 3 meters into the ground and can easily identify targets volleyball-sized or larger. GPR waves transmit differently when reflecting off buried objects compared to undisturbed soil and typically generate a hyperbolic reflection. These hyperbolic reflections, also known as signatures or targets, represent individual objects such as metal, large artifacts, concrete blocks, and boulders, and are referred to as point source targets. High-amplitude targets transmit a strong reflective signature, whereas low-amplitude targets have a weaker signature. Targets that occur at the same depth and extend over a larger amount of horizontal space are referred to as planar targets. Planar targets often reflect buried pipelines, wall lines, and other hard compact surfaces like roads. GPR survey grids were established in areas associated with the former living quarters of the Fairport Biological Station. The grids ranged from 33 feet to 70 feet to 18 feet by 33 feet. Because the GPR unit needs to operate on flat ground, the grids had to be cleared of vegetation to ground level. Surface transects were spaced at intervals of 8.25 inches.